So today I want to talk about we haven't really been talking about like weight loss and stuff that much recently, but you know, that's kind of one of the one of the ongoing themes in my life type of thing. And although I've basically got my weight under control and have done for the past while, I don't know, like 7 years or something, but it wasn't always the case. And one of the things that sort of got me off track was when I'd be like following diets or something that would say, hey, you don't need to control calories and stuff like that. It was kind of not true. So not that they're lying or anything, but I think that there are certain people who can maybe moderate their calorie intake better than I can. I don't know. Although to be honest, if you're on a diet for weight loss, then there's probably a chance that you're not actually able to moderate your calories automatically. So maybe that's not true what I just said. Anyway, the point is, a lot of especially things that diets that are oriented towards changing your lifestyle. So paleo and the bulletproof diet and things like that. They sort of talk a lot about the fact that you don't need to count calories and stuff like that. And I think the reason that they do say that is because it's kind of it's quite off message for it. To say that the whole point is they're saying if you eat this way, then it's much more healthy and natural. So you don't need to worry about counting calories, and to a certain extent it's kind of true. The whole point of paleo and bulletproof is that you're eating real foods. And so if you've gotten fat and you are just literally eating crap, then you could just changing what you eat will go a very long way. Obviously, so if you're if you've been eating a lot of sugar and stuff like that and you're fat, then obviously cutting out sugar is going to have a massive impact on your weight. But so these things they work initially, so I've said here before, when I started doing bulletproof, I lost loads of weight, and also I lost lots of weight really quickly. It was literally several when I first started, it was kilograms over the first few days, and I couldn't believe it. It was just felt, it was amazing. But then you get into sort of, or at least I get into a kind of, I got used to eating that way, and so what would happen, I'd eventually overeat on the good things, and I suppose also I'd eat stuff that wasn't strictly, so what I'd find myself doing is snacking a lot, because I'd be hungry and I'd look in the fridge and I'd find stuff that didn't go against the diet, and I'd eat that. But a lot of that stuff, because you're actually eating a lot of what they call healthy fats and stuff like that, but I was just basically eating a lot of calories. And so although I wasn't ballooning back to my original weight or anything, but I was definitely on what you call a weight loss plateau. So now I'm knocking around the low end of 70 kilos, so it kind of depends, but I'm between 70 and 72 kilos pretty much all the time, and you know, and it varies just depending on, you know, lots of things. But you know, I can feel it like in my belly, like I'm not getting fat, or you know, that's I'm basically tracking down, not very, not a lot, but I can see my body composition that I'm getting leaner. And that wasn't the case when I was you know, doing these diets. And I mean, although like now I'm eating the slow carb diet, that's not, I don't really think that that's particularly the secret to it all. What the secret is I'm eating that way, which like is good, but I'm also keeping an eye on the calories that I'm eating. You know, so, well, I'm not strictly the calories, I'm not counting calories, but I'm doing things in lieu of counting calories, and that's basically where I'm getting at today. Is like, I'll concede that you don't actually have to strictly count calories, but you do have to have some kind of mechanism for restricting calories. You know, it's not possible to just eat everything that you want at any given time, like all the time. It's not, because I think that basically, you know, given that people, you know, for the vast amount of time, you know, of like human evolution, you know, we haven't, you know, being hunter-gatherers, you don't always have lots of food. You know, I think basically left to our own devices, we'll always, you know, overeat. You know, if you just don't think about it, you'll just overeat. Or at least I will overeat. So, you know, that's where like then you get lots of secondary mechanisms coming in of like, you know, how to tackle overeating. So, like in the bulletproof diet, like one of the things that Dave Asprey, I mean, he wrote a whole book on fasting, which is, I mean, to be honest with me, fasting was my game changer. That's like that was like the thing that, you know, the tool in the toolbox that meant that I could completely keep my weight under control. Because I think what was it, you know, I think the Buddha said something like, you know, moderation is the best way in life or something. I'm just not very moderate, you know. Moderation doesn't really work for me. So I'm quite capable of, you know, Monday to Friday eating healthily, and you know, I'm keeping it all under control. But I love to have a day off on Saturday, and I just eat, you know, what I want. And I know, like for one day I am overeating, but it's fine, because psychologically it's good for me, and I make up for it in other ways. So like I've said, on Sundays I fast, and so, you know, even just looking at it from a purely calorific, you know, balance thing over the week, if one day I'm really going for it and then the next day I'm not eating anything, then, you know, if we're looking at like about 2,000 calories that you know, a grown man would eat, then, you know, over the average of 2 days, even if I'm really going for it, I don't know if I'm eating more than like 4,000 or 5,000 calories on a Saturday. I'm pretty sure I'm not. And I have actually done a study. So there was, when I was, it was about a year ago, I just like decided to do an experiment and just see, you know, what would happen if I just restricted calories. And so I
I think I started off like on 1,800 calories, and then I knocked it down to, I can't remember, I think it was like 1,500 or something like that. And then I went down to like 1,300 just to like basically see what, you know, what would happen with my body composition. And like I did, just lose weight. But I got to the point where psychologically I needed some, I needed to be able to eat. And so basically I had a cheat day on Saturday, and then I'd make up for it by like fasting on a Sunday. And it was, you know, so that's how I realised how much, like on a binge day, how much would you eat. And although it was like I could easily get, you know, I could get to nearly 4,000 calories, I didn't get to 4,000 because I'd just be full, you know, and I didn't want to, you know, I was kind of keeping an eye on it. I mean, obviously I could probably just sit there and eat like 4 tubs of ice cream if I wanted, and you know, that'd easily get me over, but I wasn't doing that. And I don't do that now, you know what I mean? Well, although Saturday's like my day off, and if we have ice cream and like, you know, it's like there's a Saturday dessert or something, then I'll eat ice cream. But I don't like go for it like mad, you know, I'm not like going for 3 tubs of, you know, 3 pints of ice cream or anything like that, but I know I probably could, but I don't. So the thing is, in terms of like, it's like, it's because it's just a process. You know, you need to have like these like tools in your toolbox. So for me, it's fasting, and also I try. Well, it's not that I try, but I do like time restricted eating. But that, I mean, that's just a psychological trick as well for me, because if you know, I'm quite capable of saying to myself, right, you know, now you're not eating. So like, because I get up I have my breakfast about 6 a.m. and so I can't really, although I could do like, you know, only eat in an 8-hour period, I don't really want to be stopping eating at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, like the time now, it's like 20 to 2, and I haven't even had my lunch yet. But I have gone since 6 a.m. to now without eating. And you know, I'm pretty good at, I don't tend to snack, you know, when I'm hungry I'll just have the meal, you know, that's the way I work. So I'll have this now, and then maybe at about sometime between 5 and 7, depending on like what's going on, you know, like in terms of work and the kids and stuff, then I'll have a salad. And then, you know, it'll be a good salad, it'll have like sardines in it probably, and you know, obviously lettuce, tomato, olives, you know, so it's not like a low calorie salad or anything like that, and you know, loads of olive oil and stuff. But you know, I finish that and that's it, I'm done eating for the day, and I just don't eat anything else, you know. And then it's, you know, psychological. Well, in the night, for instance, if I do get hungry before, you know, bedtime and stuff, I just think, well, you know, I'll be having my breakfast, you know, and then, you know, I'll just look forward to that, and that'll be fine, that gets me through. So, you know, it's, that works for me. But, you know, it's the way, you've just got to, the way round it is just to find, you know, an experiment and see what works for you. So that's one of the things with, like the ebook that I've written, the 30-day Dan Body Buster Challenge, is like, although it's like set out as a challenge, but what it does, it just like explains like different ways of eating that you can like try, and like you can just, you know, go through, you know, these patterns, which are just basically psychological tricks to, you know, get you to eat less. I mean, at the end of the day, it really is about eating less. You know, that's the only way you're going to actually lose weight and keep it off. You can't just eat whatever you want forever. You know what I mean? It's not as an adult. And like, fortunately or unfortunately, I could never do that as a child either. You know, I was a little fat kid when I wasn't, not compared to modern standards, to be honest. I used to consider myself to be a little fat kid, but you know, I was nowhere near obese or anything like that. But I had like, you know, a little bit of you know, fat around my belly and stuff. and it was, you know, that was just like basically the product of, you know, eating impulsively, you know, when what I felt like was a hunger sensation. I mean, I still remember being like about 7 or 8 years old, and like having like hunger that I just felt like I just couldn't stop being hungry, and it wasn't actually hunger. I can still remember, but it was like a sensation in my mouth and, you know, throat and stuff that I wanted to consume food, and so I did, and you know, that just made me fat. And you know, it was just, I mean, my parents didn't really know that much about, well, didn't know anything about nutrition basically. So, you know, there was things that like we thought, you know, I'd be told were healthy, and they weren't particularly. You know, you just eating a load of carbohydrates and like, you know, sugar and stuff like that, and you know, it was kind of, my mum used to think that if it was low fat then it was healthy. You know, that was just like, I mean, she struggled with a weight all her life. I mean, she wasn't fat either, but she always would have liked to have been like a little bit thinner. But, you know, it was just, it just wasn't going to happen because of the way, you know, she ate, you know, and she didn't really know anything about like, you know, carbohydrates and, you know, how, I mean, I basically, well, with the slow carb diet, and it's not that I eat low carbs, you've just seen me add loads of legumes to that, and it's not like they've got loads of carbohydrates in it, but they, you know, it's got such a low glycemic index. You know, it's not like I'm not getting fat from it. Whereas, you know, at home we used to eat loads of potatoes, and you know, we'd have bread with our meal, you know, all the time, and you know, there was just no way that I wasn't going to be, you know, piling on the pounds type of thing. But anyway, all that said, the point is once you know, it's not just enough to know what to eat. You've got to, you know, keep a lid on how much you eat. You know, there's no way around it, and that's basically the point of, you know, you need to find the tricks to get you, you know, to help you eat well. I mean, I know people who just like adults and dead skinny and stuff, and they've always seemed to, although like I know that they don't eat particularly healthily, but they certainly moderate the amount of food that they eat, and that keeps them like in good shape. And I just can't do that. You know, even now, you know, the size of this plate, you know, it's a big plate, and that will fill this up. And I'll eat it all, but then I won't eat. I just don't snack. You know, I eat 3 times a day, and it's me breakfast, it's me lunch, and it's me, you know, evening meal, and that's it. I don't eat anything else. You know, nothing else passes my lips, and I'm fine with that. Whereas, like, you know, on a Saturday when I'm having the day off, you know, I'll probably, you know, I love toast. I really do, toast and butter. So I might eat like almost a whole loaf of sliced bread toasted over the course of the day. You know, so I'll have like maybe 4 slices for breakfast, and then, you know, maybe I'll have that might even be my tea on a Saturday. You know, that might be my evening meal, it's just eating toast. So if you think about it, it's not like some kind of crazy, you know, going for it, but you know, I might have toast for breakfast, toast for tea, and like, you know, I'll have a pizza maybe at lunchtime, because I like pizzas. But you know, I'm not really going completely berserk, but I eat things that I wouldn't eat normally. So anyway, as you might have noticed, today's cauliflower was already cooked, because I had some left over from what I cooked for the kids last night, and I thought, oh, I'll have that tomorrow. So got a slightly shorter video today, maybe, hopefully, because I'm starving. So I'm going to eat this now. It looks like the fish isn't sushi, which is good. It's cooked. And so I'm going to stop this now. So that means I'm going to have my lunch. And yeah, so, you know, check out the ebook. You know, there's a link in the description. you just sign up and get it for free. And I'd love to hear people's thoughts on it. And, so yeah, that's it for today. I'm going to eat my lunch. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.